Before you take your first trade today, let me bring something to your attention. There are moments in the market that shift your behavior instantly, even before you notice the change. A sudden breakout, a new spike, a candle that moves too fast, or the memory of a recent loss can alter your mindset in seconds. What starts as a normal session can quickly turn into a series of reactions you did not intend to make. The reality is that many trading mistakes do not begin with flawed analysis. They begin with unnoticed emotional triggers that quietly redirect your focus, your perception, and your decisions. When these triggers activate beneath your awareness, your discipline weakens and your ability to read the chart becomes distorted. Today, you will learn how to spot these triggers before they take control of your session. Welcome back to the ComLucro channel. This video is part of our series Psychology Mindset Workout for Traders. And in this session, we are exploring a method called Trigger Awareness Mapping. This technique is supported by research from institutions like Stanford University and the University of Michigan, where studies in cognitive science show that small emotional cues can influence your decision process long before you recognize them consciously. Your triggers also shape the way you interpret market movement. A quick loss can make neutral structure appear dangerous. A burst of volatility can push you toward impulsive entries. A missed opportunity can lead to chasing. And a big win can inflate confidence and make you abandon your rules. These reactions begin quietly, before you place a single order, and they influence every choice that follows. Trigger awareness mapping gives you a clear way to identify and understand these emotional cues before they drive your behavior. It helps you recognize what activates your impulses. It brings your attention back to deliberate action instead of reaction, and it prepares you to trade with composure, clarity, and consistent discipline. So if you like this kind of video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And join the ComLucro community to support the channel and keep improving as a trader. Now that you understand why identifying triggers is essential, let us break down how this technique actually works. The purpose of trigger awareness mapping is to help you recognize the cues that activate emotional shifts before they influence your decisions. Most traders assume they're reacting only to price, but in reality, they're reacting to internal and external triggers that they never notice. When these triggers go unrecognized, they quietly distort your perception of the chart. The first step is observation. Before analyzing any setup, take a moment to notice what is happening around you and inside you. Ask yourself if there was anything that changed your state. It might have been a sudden price move, a headline, an unexpected alert, or even tension in your own body. This brief moment of observation creates a gap between the trigger and your response. Instead of acting from automatic emotion, you begin to see the pattern forming. The second step is pinpointing the trigger. After observing the shift, identify what specifically caused it. You might say the fast candle triggered urgency, the loss triggered frustration, or the news triggered anxiety. Naming the trigger makes it concrete. It takes something vague and unconscious and turns it into something you can see clearly. Once the trigger is identified, its power over your decision-making decreases, and your ability to remain objective increases. The third step is evaluating the impact. Once you recognize the trigger, ask how it's influencing your mindset. Did it make you feel rushed? Did it make you hesitate? Did it make you want to force a trade or avoid a clean setup? This evaluation helps you understand the exact direction the trigger is pushing you. It reveals whether your current emotional state supports your strategy or threatens your discipline. The fourth step is interruption. If you notice that the trigger is pulling you toward reaction, take a short moment to reset. This can be a controlled breath, a pause away from the screen, or a quick return to your trading plan. These micro resets interrupt the chain between trigger and impulse. A few seconds of awareness are often enough to prevent a reactive decision that could cost far more than the time you took to pause. The final step is stabilization. After interrupting the trigger, bring your attention back to your process. Reaffirm your rules, remind yourself of your criteria, and reconnect with the mindset required for your strategy. This stabilization anchors your behavior in intention instead of reaction. With repetition, This sequence becomes automatic, allowing you to remain grounded even when the market becomes unpredictable. Now let us look at how this technique appears in real trading situations. Imagine starting your session after missing an important setup earlier in the week. You open the chart and immediately feel a subtle sense of urgency, as if you need to make up for lost opportunity. That thought becomes a trigger. Without noticing it, you begin searching for entries that are not fully formed. But with trigger awareness mapping, you catch the shift early, identify the trigger, and interrupt the reaction before it pushes you into a forced trade. Another common scenario is encountering sudden volatility. A strong candle forms quickly and your heart rate jumps. Even if your strategy does not require entering on that move, the speed becomes an emotional trigger. It creates pressure to act. When you pause, notice the sensation, and label the trigger, you remove the urgency from the moment. You regain the ability to evaluate the structure instead of chasing the movement. Triggers also appear after a series of small losses. The frustration builds quietly, and the need to win back what you lost becomes the dominant emotion. This is a powerful trigger that often leads to revenge trading. When you map it, you see the frustration as soon as it emerges. You recognize it as a trigger rather than a signal from the market. That awareness gives you space to reset before the emotion turns into an impulsive decision. There are positive triggers as well. After a strong winning streak, confidence rises, and the belief that you can handle any setup starts to distort your risk perception. That elevated confidence becomes a trigger that leads to oversized positions or trades outside the plan. Trigger awareness mapping helps you notice the shift in mindset and bring your focus back to disciplined execution. It prevents confidence from turning into carelessness. As you begin to see your triggers in real time, you start to understand how much they shape your trading behavior. Instead of being pulled into emotional responses, you develop the ability to interrupt the trigger before it becomes action. The more you map these moments, the more control you gain over your decisions, and the more stable your trading performance becomes. Now here's how you can start practicing trigger awareness mapping today. At the beginning of your session, take a moment to observe your state and identify any trigger that may already be active. Notice whether your mind feels calm, pressured, impatient, or overly confident. Pay attention to any reaction in your body, like tension, restlessness, or a sudden urge to act. This simple scan prepares you to recognize triggers before they influence your decisions. As the session unfolds, use the mapping process whenever your state shifts. It might happen after a fast price movement, a missed opportunity, a sudden loss, or even a long period of inactivity. Each time you feel a spike in emotion or a change in your behavior, pause briefly, identify the trigger, and interrupt the reaction. These micropauses prevent internal impulses from growing into decisions that do not align with your plan. Your exercise for this week is straightforward. Practice trigger awareness mapping at least twice per session. Once at the beginning, before you analyze the market, and once at any moment when your emotions change, even slightly. With repetition, your ability to detect triggers becomes sharper. You will notice patterns that were invisible before, and your reactions will become more controlled and intentional. As you continue this practice, you will begin to see how your emotional triggers shape the way you trade. Setups that once felt confusing become easier to evaluate. Impulses that used to take over lose their hold, and the market feels less chaotic because your internal responses become clearer and more predictable. You will not just see price action differently, you will see your own behavior with new clarity. As you work with this technique, you will start to realize how deeply your triggers influence the quality of your trading. The same market conditions that once felt overwhelming will come easier to understand. The reactions that used to push you into impulsive trades lose their strength, and the emotional spikes that once controlled your decisions become signals you can recognize and manage. Every mapped trigger strengthens your ability to stay present, disciplined, and aligned with your process. This video is part of our series Psychology Mindset Workout for Traders, where each session builds a different pillar of your emotional performance. Keep practicing your trigger mapping, keep observing your internal reactions, and you will gradually build the mental stability that supports confident and consistent trading. Stay focused, stay aware, and I will see you in the next workout. Please also remember that our mission here on the ComLucro channel is to give traders the clarity and confidence they need to make smarter decisions in the market. Every video, every course, and every piece of content we create has one clear purpose: to deliver practical, easy-to-apply knowledge that helps you grow step by step as a trader. Here on the channel, you'll find complete courses on smart money concepts, technical analysis for day traders, and trading psychology. Because trading isn't just about charts, it's also about mindset, discipline, and risk management. We also share lessons and insights from some of the most respected names in trading, professionals like David Paul, Alexander Elder, Tom Hugard, Mark Douglas, Al Brooks, Larry Williams, and many others whose experience has shaped the way we understand the markets today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a like. It really helps more traders discover our content. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest insights and strategies. If you'd like to go even deeper and access exclusive content, early video releases, and additional tools to support your development, consider joining the ComLucro trader community right here on YouTube. It's a simple way to support our work and a smart investment in your own growth as a trader. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.